we've got just under 1 week to go until the Six Nations starts in France. So there'll be a few videos coming out over the course of this week. First one is this one, best cheap players. I'll essentially just run down a 15 which don't cost too much within the game and who I think could potentially make an impact. And with the overall budget being quite low this year, I think having a few differential cheap players is really going to enable you to have, well, the best players to captain. In this video, I'll look at ways to do that with the likes of Tui Pelotu, who is going to be injured for the whole of the Six Nations. So look at maybe Hutchinson, McDowell, but also the likes of Alex Mitchell for England. Ben Spencer's obviously come in as well. Harry Randall, quite cheap picks, but we'll have a look in this video. As always, if you do like the video, drop a like, also comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So to kick us off, I've actually started with the back three, probably because these are going to be the most expensive players in the game, just because back three players are generally more expensive because they can pick up more points. All of these guys are 14 stars. Tommy Freeman, Mack Hansen and Hugo Keenan. You would expect all three to start for, well, Ireland, England respectively. I think Tommy Freeman, one of the most dangerous ball carriers for England in that back line. It can come short, break the line, but also stay out wide and score tries, just like Smith likes to do. I also think Hansen, Keenan, we know that they're pretty nailed on from past Six Nations and generally how they like to play their team. Also don't necessarily change too much in the back three. Keenan is so solid under the high ball. Maybe doesn't get masses of points like he used to. But then again, Mack Hansen, also the same, really solid. And again, a really high try scoring threat as well. And with it being Ireland, I think these two are definitely underpriced. Ireland coming off the back of the win of the Six Nations last year, and can they back it up? Next up in the centres, two pretty obvious picks for me really. First of all, I've gone with Stafford McDowell, who, along with Rory Hutchinson, depending on who starts, I'm tipping McDowell for now, given he's an out-and-out 12. Hutchinson, maybe more of a 13, but yeah, he's been playing well for Northampton, but I do think they'll back McDowell. 8 stars is super cheap, probably one of the cheapest players in the game, and if he's going to be nailed on for Scotland, especially with their opening fixture being Italy, I think we need to take advantage of this. Similarly, Mofana is only 12 stars, and looking at the French centre options, I mean, there's no Fiku, there's no Dante of past years, so I believe Mofana is, well, the heir to that 12 jersey. I also think whoever starts 13, could be Gaetan as well, is a really good option, but I think Mofana's probably more nailed on and sometimes does like to go on the wing as well. So depending on injuries, we'll have to see, but I think 12 is definitely his position for the Six Nations. At halfbacks, I think depending on what Scotland go for, I've gone with Tom Jordan. Believe he's only 11 stars, which is super cheap given, well, Finn Russell is worth 20 stars, most expensive in the game. He may start at 15. I probably think he'll be Blair Kinghorn instead. But just as a super sub option anyway, I think Tom Jordan is probably front runner at the moment. Italy at home. Tom Jordan, we know what he can do given his game time already for Scotland. If he does start, bargain option, but also I just think he's a bargain option for super sub as well. And then Ben Spencer, Alex Mitchell is a doubt for the opening game, so not sure if they'll risk it. Ben Spencer has been brought in late, which is a concern, but I think he may get the nod over Randall, just because he's a similar style to Alex Mitchell. They might not want to put Randall in straight away first game against Ireland, it might be too tough. So that's my thought process behind that. In the back row, you can see I've picked, first off, Cunningham South. I think he will probably start for England at 6, potentially. Really good ball carrier, probably one of England's strongest, to be quite honest. Only concern, he may not play the full 80. But given that he's super cheap and with the overall budget being pretty low, I think we'll need someone like this, and he's actually in my draft team to start with. England may not get huge amounts of the ball, but when they do, Cunningham South will probably carry pretty hard. Then the final two, I've gone with Josh Bayliss for Scotland. Again, probably won't start the opening game. It is against Italy, so may do, but I also think a pretty good super sub option as well. And just generally being quite cheap, I think, is a decent option. I think Scotland have a good chance this year. Probably third best, again, I would say, in the tournament. And then on from that, I have gone with Negri. So again, pretty cheap, is nailed on for basically 80 minutes. Just unfortunately plays for Italy. Will tackle and get a decent amount of turnovers, but maybe not get any win or try bonuses. But solid option, always puts himself about, just don't know about the Italy. Now, interestingly, in the second row, I've gone with Ted Hill and Miafu. So Ted Hill, probably not nailed on, he'll most likely start on the bench. But, interestingly, he's down as a second row in the game, whereas obviously we know he plays back row. And on top of this, he's only 7 stars. So, a really decent option. Again, could potentially start at 6. Who knows? Again, may start on the bench, but with weeks he's playing against Wales or Italy, then may look as a really decent super sub option. Miafu, on the other hand, is definitely more nailed on. Only 11 stars. I think Flamon, his second row partner, is also only 12 stars. So to be honest, you can pick either two of them. I've gone with Miafu just because of his carrying ability. Just a lot stronger. Flamont's maybe is more agile. Kind of take your pick on either of those. And then finally, in the front row, going with Riccioni to start. Nailed on for Italy, pretty sure. Also plays for Saracens, so has good ties with the Prem. Just think a solid player, really. Again, props tend not to score too many points, so you may just want like an enabler here. Similar to that is Colombe for France. Really good super sub option over, well, the past Six Nations, but also the Autumn Nations. Comes on and carries very hard, and also quite a few tries as well. So again, maybe not nailed to start, but as a super sub option, very cheap. And finally, I have gone Ewan Ashman here. So pretty sure he's nailed for Scotland and only 13 stars. And with their opening fixture being against Italy, I think at the moment he's in my draft team. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the video. This team, as you can see, is pretty cheap. It actually has 64 stars left. That's obviously without a super sub. So yeah, very cheap, but I think in this game we'll need enablers. So obviously won't pick this whole team, but a few are definitely needed. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.